You're watching BBC Breakfast. It's 9:20. Let's have a look now at the front pages of the newspapers this morning. We start with The Guardian. That's reporting the story we've just been talking about, that fracking is banned in the UK with immediate effect. It describes it as a watershed moment for environmentalists. The paper also carries a really striking photo of a gold coffin, which is part of a new Tutankhamun exhibition in London.
The Sun's front page has the story of Strictly judge Shirley Ballas. She says she feels a responsibility to warn young girls away from having breast implants. She is recovering from having her implants removed. She's gone through that over the last few days, but she's still expected to take part in tonight's live Strictly show.
The Daily Mail's headline reads, "We don't need you, Nigel." It says that the Conservatives have gone to war with the Brexit Party leader, Nigel Farage, after he threatened to ruin Boris Johnson's election campaign by fielding candidates in every seat against the Tories.
And the Mirror Sports website has spoken with former England Rugby World Cup winner Paul Grayson, who lays out how Eddie Jones's men can beat South Africa this morning. Tell you at the moment, South Africa are 3-0 up, but let's forget that for now, shall we? Right, businesswoman and media commentator Anne-Marie Imafidon is here to tell us what has caught her eye. Good morning, thanks for coming in.
Morning.
So much rugby, isn't there, in the papers? You've got to, spool right through it, so many pages.
It has been really hard.
But what else is there? Let's see. You've chosen this piece here in the Mail.
So this is almost history being made yesterday. We had our new chief exec at the RBS, Alison Rose, take up the reins, and Christine Lagarde has taken over at the European Central Bank as well, which is quite different. You know, we hear so much about women not being in finance and that space being kind of 2008 financial crisis. We've got a financial crisis even. We've got mentioned here by the Fawcett Society saying that was male groupthink that kind of brought those things around. So we're wondering what happens now when you have the women in charge of the reins, which funnily enough at home 85% of spending decisions are made by women. So let's see what happens when we have that maybe.
Do you think there's something in that in a working environment women do things differently? Their leadership is different.
Exactly. I think having a different set of people, things will be done differently. And we've got in here, it's been 325 years that we've had the Bank of England. We've never had a single female lead at the Bank of England. So that's the kind of bottom bit at the bottom. Dame Minouche Shafiq is set to be, she's the favourite to take over as well. So it's just different.
Yes.
Which I think if you have, you know, people from different backgrounds, people of different genders, it would be a slightly different approach maybe to the money that we have in this country.
And you can't underestimate the impact of having role models in those positions that are women as well. It
Exactly.
really does matter, doesn't it?
And that's my day job. So I think, yeah, maybe we'll be trying to get Alison along
Governor
to
of the Bank of
Peterborough.
England?
Yeah, well, maybe. We should try and get Alison along to role model at one of our events, maybe in Peterborough this month, yeah.
And spend a penny and receive a health check. This seems very futuristic.
I do love a bit of tech. I do
Yeah.
love a little bit of that. So this is a, rather than having the kind of body trackers that you wear, this is a device someone wants to put in your loo to do diagnosis. And it sends it to your phone within 90 seconds with whatever we found in your sample. Which I love the idea of that.
It can pick up on levels of hydration, show when you've been drinking too much, or check if you've been eating enough fruit.
Exactly.
Which I think we all know when we've been drinking too much.
Which might be a cool thing to have, a good tool for health and for looking after yourself.
I'm just being aware. I've just got a text. Oh no, I haven't.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, I suppose it is. I mean, that's the way it's all going, isn't it? With trackers and data, and it's all about the information. I suppose as much information as we've got, but how much? Is there too much information? I don't know.
Well, it's a text.
It's the hygiene that's worrying me. How do you keep it clean?
It's not being tweeted, so as long as that's kept, then that's all right.
Pilots, if you're planning to fly away for Christmas in the sun, British Airways pilots were talking about striking, weren't they?
Yeah, so good news if you were planning on going away, not so good news if you're a pilot with BA. They were going to strike over Christmas. They're no longer going to strike. I think with what's happened with Thomas Cook, with the Brexit kind of things being pushed out, there's been a bit of a climb down of the union. But BA has put on the initial offer on the table, put that back that they.
This has rumbled on for months now.
It has. It's been a while, and it's. I'm happy that Christmas isn't going to be ruined, because it's always so sad when things like that happen. And when we look at the details of the deal, yeah, striking is always an interesting one to be around.
Isn't it? It's tricky
but
for
Christmas
both
is saved,
sides.
so positive news.
Hooray!
Good spin on that.
Interesting story in the Times. If having got your information from your mobile phone in the toilet, your information is online. This is talking about how we delete our profiles, all that information, all that sort of data, all those profiles.
The
that
right
are online.
to be forgotten, and
After you die.
supposedly only 7% of people would like it all completely deleted and gone when they die. Many people would like the images to go on to family, but it's an interesting thing to think about, because as you're tweeting or you're Facebooking or whatever you're kind of communicating, what happens afterwards is something that we don't often talk about enough. But there are certain rights that are around it at EU level that, again, we might have to review in the years to come. But I don't know, for yourselves, what would you like to happen to your social media?
I know that they treat them with, if somebody dies quite suddenly, Facebook, for example, treat the family with sensitivity, and they're allowed to sort of take control of a profile like that. But increasingly, we'll all have to make a decision, won't we?
And whether you want the Facebook default, I know of a couple of companies that actually it's a service that they provide, and a little bit like you have your donor card, they kind of allow you to choose while you're alive, what would you like to be archived, what would you like to be deleted. Facebook doesn't always catch it though, so I've got friends that have passed away, and you know their accounts are still live, and every time it's the anniversary or the birthday, then kind of tributes still come in.
Yeah, and
that's
that
not been
can be
archived.
quite comforting, can't it?
It can, but I think we need to be a little bit more intentional about it.
You see, I sometimes wonder the opposite. So much is on the cloud, is up there somewhere. It just takes for that to get hacked, and big chunks of your history disappear, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So that opposite could happen.
So
some bits of my history I wouldn't mind disappearing.
All right, let's go and have a look for that, shall we? Let's see this story here. Waiter, waiter, stop serving up pomposity.
Oh.
So this is a bloke who's written a book, and he's annoyed because he goes to restaurants and they have all these kind of hand cut, and they use these kind of very pompous words to describe just food. So he's kind of written his most frou-frou, the 10 worst frou-frou phases that he sees in his menus.
What have we got here?
So there's quite a lot he hates. Do you have a reservation? Restaurants with a concept. He doesn't like it when they've got a concept. We fly our mozzarella over from Italy twice a week, that kind of provenance. But sometimes it's nice to know where your food has come from.
Number 4, artisanal.
Artisanal, and then hand cut is there at number 5.
Square plates. Are they really that offensive?
And slate plates as well. That's quite annoying, isn't it?
I mean, there is the kind of the meme of kind of the breakfast on a shovel that you might have seen, and kind
I've
of
not seen
serving
that.
food on things that aren't plates, which I know there are lots of kind of accounts that serve those
You
up.
see, I always think the best service in a good restaurant is where you barely notice it. You know, your water glass is filled and they're not too over the top, and because that can be a bit annoying, can't it?
You don't want to be worried about, you know, this plank of wood, whether they've been able to wash it before they put whatever.
Because then you don't know what you're meant to do with it. It can be a bit intimidating, can't it?
The worst one I ever saw was, I think, soup served in a shoe.
Ooh.
Did you eat it?
No.
All things.
In a
Maybe they
restaurant?
ran out of
It was
bowls.
a restaurant, yeah. Yeah.
That's grim.
Yeah.
Let's delete that from our history. Thank you so much for this morning. That's been